Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is guide for round 3 of the 2021 Nations Cup exhibition season. Let's get this started. Quick notes. For this guide, I'll be on the DS4 controller with the controller sensitivity at 7 and the ABS will be off. More on that later. But you're going to want to bring yourself towards the left side of the track, and you can get a bit on the curves on the left, and your first braking point is just before you reach the white line that is on the left. Brake hard for a very short moment, quickly ease off of the brakes, then slowly start to apply a throttle, and try to avoid this yellow curb, otherwise the kart will not like getting on that at all, and it will send you flying off the track. Same thing for this one, try not to get onto this curb head on, otherwise you will lose control. Try to avoid the red stuff and the grass. Your next braking point is before you go under the Red Bull sign. Brake hard for a short moment, and you can control your braking as you go through this right turn. Gradually apply a throttle as long as the kart is nice and stable. Nice and careful with your turn-ins so the kart doesn't spin out on you. And you can take a bit of advantage of the red and white curbs. Bring yourself to the left, and you can take this next turn flat out, turn in at the 50-meter board, and carefully turn in, because if you're too aggressive with your turn in, you risk losing control. Try to avoid getting onto the curbs on the left, and your final braking point is before the red and white area on the left ends. Quick burst of braking, get on the throttle as soon as you can, avoid the curbs on the left, and you are good to go. But that's all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the strategies. Before I talk about the qualifying strategies, I have the ABS off for the karts, so to turn it off, you can go to driving settings, which I'll do in a moment. Then scroll down until you see ABS, and then you can go ahead and turn it off. And you'll see that the ABS light will now be yellow instead of white. And with the ABS off, it is possible to be able to have more consistent braking. You won't have the ABS system interrupting your braking, especially for the harder braking zones. So I would suggest giving it a try, see if it works out for you, and if it does, you can keep it off for the nation's race with the karts. But if it doesn't, then you can go ahead and move it back to weak or default, whatever setting you normally have it at before. And don't forget, after the kart race ends, don't forget to move the ABS default to what you had it set to before. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the qualifying strategies. You have 5 minutes to try to get a good qualifying time, which will give you a lot of chances because this is on Red Bull Ring Short. Slipstream will be pretty useful here, but it is a little risky, especially with this first turn. You want to try to be careful here because it is really easy for the kart to spin out here. And with this qualifying session giving you a lot of chances to try to get the best time possible, you can set at least one banker lap. So this is where you go a little safer, just trying to have a safety net. So in case you start to push and none of those laps work out, you'll at least have a decent lap time that you can fall back on. And in a moment, I'm going to show how Slipstream can be useful, especially for qualifying. So this wasn't during a qualifying session. We were just practicing before we did a practice race. And I'm already going about 2-3 miles per hour faster under the slipstream of the kart in front of me. So that's really going to help me out. That's going to shave off quite a bit of time. And in a bit, we're going to see what kind of lap time we get. I'm just going to try to do my best to stay under the slipstream because the slipstream is pretty strong with these karts. So you'll notice that your kart will be accelerating even faster than usual, and you can reach even higher top speeds. So I'm already going 110, 111 under the slipstream, and I'm going to back out just before we reach this turn because I don't want to overtake them yet. I want to stay under the slipstream until we cross the start-finish line. And then we're going to end up being around half a second faster. So slipstream is definitely useful. I'm going 111 again because of the slipstream. So you can take advantage of the slipstream. Just be careful of the first turn and getting too close to the kart in front of you. And at the end of the day, you're going to have 6 to 7 chances to try to get the best qualifying time possible. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on over to the race. So the settings are pretty much the same for the qualifying and the race. Fuel is times 0, tire wear is a times 0. So the qualifying session is more or less a warm-up session, except you're trying to get a really good time. But anyways, moving on over to the race. We're driving here at Red Bull Ring for 22 laps in the shifter karts. And because the fuel and tires are at times 0, you don't have to worry about pitting at all. This is pretty much a sprint race where it is all about survival, because this track is trying to kill you, and then you have the other players that are potentially trying to kill you. And the thing is that with these karts, it's really easy to get a little argy-bargy with others, so it's going to be really easy to get pushed off into the curves where the curves are going to end up killing you. This first turn, it's a bit of a lottery. This kart doesn't like the bumpiness of the first turn. It doesn't like the curves on the first turn. And if you are very careless through that first turn, the track is going to try to kill you. You also have the red and white curves and the green stuff that are on the final turns that are not too friendly with the karts, and here I go, I get pushed off. So try to avoid getting on the curves, especially the curves on the left side right now. Those are extremely bumpy, and your kart will not react well to it at all. And you're going to see that happen to one of these poor souls in the front. And as we go through this turn again, avoid the curves, avoid the yellow curves especially, because they will definitely try to end your race. And also definitely take advantage of the slipstream, because it's going to help you go a lot faster. It'll help you keep up with the pack, and you can definitely use a slipstream as your tool to decide whether you want to go for a move or not. And in a moment, you're going to see why you don't want to get on the curves on the final turn, because second place is going to get on the curves and he's just going to go ahead and exit stage left. So yeah, don't get on the curves. They're going to end your race. And then you have the first turn that is always going to try to kill you, because the kart, it just doesn't react to the bumpiness of the track surface, and it doesn't react well to the curves. So I'm going to go through this turn, and then I'm almost going to spin out because the kart didn't react well to that turn. So you want to apply a little bit of throttle as you go through that turn to try to maintain stability, and you want to straighten out the kart as soon as you can before you start to fully accelerate. If you get too aggressive on the throttle, you risk spinning out. And in a moment, we're going to see me get unlucky again for the first turn, where actually, let's see what happened. I'm not sure if I got careless or if I just got unlucky. Yeah, I got a little unlucky. I got too close to the curves, and that sent me off track. And I think I get a track penalty here. Do I get a track penalty? And yeah, there you go. Track penalty, dirty tires. So yeah, you want to be very careful with that first turn because you don't want to screw yourself over. But yeah, turn 1 is a bit of a lottery, so just try to be nice and careful. But anyways, places to overtake in the penalty steering zone. The main straight, great place to get overtake done. Try to get past them before you push the first turn, because you don't want to battle it through this first turn, especially with the curbs waiting to collect your souls. This second turn that is coming up, another good place to get overtake done. Just try to be nice and careful on the throttle as you exit the turn, because if you're too aggressive on the throttle, the weight of the kart will shift around too fast and you will risk spinning out. The penalty steering zone is coming up right now, and this is another good place to get the overtake done with the use of slipstream. Try to get it done before you reach this next turn. And for the final turn, this one's a bit situational. If you're on the very final laps, try to go for the overtake here. But if you're still early in the race or in the middle of the race, just hold on, wait for the main straight to take advantage of the slipstream, and then go for the overtake. And that is pretty much it for this guide. Not gonna lie, this one wasn't too fun to make because I am terrible with the karts. And I'm using the controller instead of the wheel because with the wheel, the input is way too sensitive for me, so I use the controller for the karts. But I also want to give you all a huge thank you because we recently hit 1 million total views for this channel, which is really awesome. And I just wanted to give you guys an amazing thank you. But anyways, that is all from me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. MCA getting stuck in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'll see you in the next video.